What's up, everybody? You are now tuned into the In Love with Horror podcast. We're your hosts. I'm AJ.
And I'm Kristie. Join us for a love affair with all things horror as we explore the world of horror films, games, and everything in between.
All right, y'all. As always, we got a great episode for y'all today. Now, for trailers, we'll be doing something a little bit different this time. We're going to be talking about some horror games that we liked during the Indie Horror Games Showcase that premiered this week. So we'll be diving into some games during that trailer section, and then for news, y'all, we got a couple great pieces of news, some like new movies that's coming. We got some new posters for a holiday horror film that's coming this year, and then we'll be talking about when you can watch The Nun 2 on streaming. And then for the main topic today, we'll be talking about our Halloween favorites and the movies that get us in the spirit of Halloween. So all that's coming up on In Love with Horror. Stay tuned. All right, y'all. Now, as we always do before we get started with some of the main portions of our podcast, we like to talk about what we watched this week. So I'll go ahead and actually, hold up. Before I jump to you, baby, I got to talk about the 31 Nights of Halloween movie marathon list that we got, y'all. So hopefully y'all have been tuned into that list and watching along with us each day as we watch some of our favorite horror films. Now, this week, which is the third week in October, our theme for the week was all about Black horror films. So we've been watching some dope movies, y'all, like Candyman, People on the Stairs, Get Out, Ganja and Hess, Tales from the Hood, and Blade, y'all. Blade, come on now, Blade. What? Blade is fire. But and I do consider that a horror film for sure. But now check it out for next week, which is the fourth week of October, the spooky season. That week is all about paranormal films, y'all. So we got films like Sinister, The Exorcist, The Conjuring, Hereditary, The Ring, Hell House LLC. That movie is dope, y'all. If you've never seen that one. And then for the family friendly option, of course, we got Casper. That's a classic. That is a classic. I loved it as a kid, baby. I think you loved it too as a kid.
Yes, that's a good one.
That is a good one, y'all. That's a great, like, family friendly Halloween horror type of movie. So make sure you go check out that list, y'all. That list can be found pretty much on any of our social media channels. Check out that list. It's a nice graphic, breaks down everything day by day, and gives you the themes for each week. And the last theme for week 5 is all about Halloween. So we got classics like Trick or Treat, All Hallows Eve, and I think on and I can't really see it that good because my thing is glitching out. But yeah, we got
Halloween in.
Yeah, for October 31st, we got Halloween. And then we did sub in a family-friendly option of the Nightmare Before Christmas, because that is a classic as well. But with that, let's go ahead and pass it over to you, baby, so you can talk about what you watched this week.
Okay, so I've been diving into some new shows.
A lot of shows, y'all. A lot of shows.
A lot of shows. I watched the new Goosebumps that dropped on Disney Plus or Hulu, whichever one y'all have. So the first 5 episodes came out when it released, and then every Friday a new episode came out. So as of today, there are 6 episodes out available to watch. So I'm pleasantly surprised. Okay, because I didn't know how good it was going to be, but I really like it. It definitely has. It takes a second to kind of like pick up. I would say like starting at the second episode, you start to get into like the different stories, kind of like Goosebumps, but the original Goosebumps. But the only thing that's different is everything is tied together instead of there being like individual stories. So like different things occur during each episode, but they're still tied to one larger story.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Justin Long, he's really good in this. Because I know you were kind of worried about this too, because from the trailer, it looks like he was going to be possessed.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But he still is doing a phenomenal job. Like, and then also kind of like going back and forth between himself and then this possessed thing. So it works. So it's still
Mhm.
it's good. Then you have this group of kids who are trying to figure out what's going on. So it definitely feels like Goosebumps. It even looks to me like it has that nostalgic look, old school feel. So I think it definitely does a good job of capturing that flavor from Goosebumps. So
Right.
I like it. I'm enjoying the different stories. Our 7-year-old, he was kind of like in and out a little bit, but there was some of the stuff that was still a little bit scary for him. So, like, if you have small kids, I don't think they should watch this, but it's still,
Mhm.
so maybe like a little bit older, 10 years old up, maybe possibly, because it's kind of scary, but not like, you know, it's nothing to us. But if you have small kids, then they probably wouldn't feel it like that. Because I was kind of young watching Goosebumps. I thought I was, but maybe not. So I thought he might like it, but no, he's like,
Yeah,
I don't like
we
this.
were pretty young with Goosebumps. Like, when it was coming out on TV back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you haven't checked that out, definitely watch that. We also watched the Fall of the House of Usher.
Mhm.
I'll let you dive into that,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
will say it took me quite a few episodes to really like enjoy it.
Yeah.
Really, I did. The performances are amazing, obviously. Um, so I did enjoy that, and I really liked the Poe influences that occurred late in the later episodes. Um, and I think I mentioned to you, I was probably feeling that way because I knew them better and
Mhm.
understood them better. Um, I also like some of the poetry reading and stuff like that. But yeah, overall I thought it was okay. Not my favorite Mike Flanagan, but
Yeah.
still good. And then I watched the documentary Monster Inside on Hulu. That's about the McKinney Manor. That was a very interesting documentary. I did like because it talks a lot about the guy Russ who runs McKinney Manor, but then it
Mhm.
also talks about the type of people that would subject themselves to that type of immersive experience. So I thought that aspect was really good, like kind of getting inside the mind of people who would want to do this stuff to themselves. Um, so that part I really enjoyed, and then learning a little bit about how McKinney Manor started,
Mhm.
like the history behind it and how it became what it is now. And then kind of like getting an insight into who Russ is and some of the like perverted things that he does.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely think if you're interested in McKinney Manor or if you ever heard of it, I think it's a good documentary to check out.
Okay. Yeah. That's great, baby. And, because it was October, like so many different shows and movies that came out across streaming. So,
So much stuff out.
I think all of the things we're talking about right now for this section was all stuff that came out this month.
Yes.
Um, Now you already mentioned that, of course, that you have watched, like we both have watched, Fall of the House of Usher, and like you said, the performances are incredible. I'm not familiar with the stories by Edgar Allan Poe, um, but what I will say is, well, first off, like off the top overall, I thought this show was amazing. Like I was pretty much hooked in, after episode one. Like the once the premise is set and for how the story will unfold for you. Well, I won't give any spoilers, but it's the story is being told, um, you know, starting from the end with two
Mm.
people, recounting different things that have happened over time in the past, how people died, etc. And just the way the whole story unfolded was amazing. The writing on the show is incredible. Like I was actually trying to look up like who helped write the show. It seemed like Mike Flanagan helped do a lot of the teleplay stuff. I didn't really see who exactly wrote what, but what I can tell you is the dialogue, just like some of the different moments where people have speeches, monologues, um, just the dialogue in general. The writing was phenomenal in the show. Like they need whoever helped write the show, you need to take them over to the movie world and help put them on some horror movies because damn, like because I was telling you, but I already told you, I was thinking about The
Yeah.
Exorcist Believer and some of their little speech moments and how just terrible they sounded. And then this show, they have these different speech moments that just sound like this is some like a real, moment happened in real life, everything sounds believable and authentic.
Yeah.
And like the writing just impressed me. The visuals are incredible. Pretty low on the horror scale in comparison to his other
Yeah.
stuff. Definitely very low on the horror scale. Very much all about the drama play, the character play,
Yeah.
the character development. There are some horror moments sprinkled in, but they're not nearly as bad
Very
or as
sprinkled.
much as
Yeah.
the other shows
Now,
that
there
Mike
was one
Flanagan's
scene
made.
in one of those episodes that got me, but it was only one.
Oh, there was
One
one.
scene.
I think it might
Yeah.
have been a couple that got me. Maybe like
Yeah.
2 I could think of for sure. But everything about the show I just thought was
Yeah.
just incredible. I can't really decide yet where I'm ranking it, but I think it's going to sit pretty high because I just really liked all the performances, how they showed these characters. I like some of the commentary that they had in there about, like society and the way we think and the way we, process the things that we want versus things that we need and how we don't take care of things. All that stuff, like some of the
Yeah.
commentary in there was just incredible. And then how, the different people mean different things, or like, I don't know what the word is, but they embody a specific archetype. All that stuff was in the show and just done so incredibly well. Like I'd recommend everyone to watch this show because I was just blown away. I was just captivated by everything in the show. Like I was hanging on every word. Like it was just incredible. Like Mike Flanagan, for it to be like his swan song, right, for Netflix, I was like, damn, like this dude went out with a bang. You know what I'm saying? I know you disagree.
I don't agree.
I know. Well, share your thoughts. I know you waited for me. Share what you.
No. I just, like I said earlier, like it's just not my favorite one.
Yeah.
Like, I did love some things, but it wasn't enough to outshine the other things that I really liked about the other series that he's done. But yeah, like, I mean, I really liked the performances. That's mainly the only thing I really, really liked. And like
they
like
carried
I said,
some carried of those, the fuck out of the show. That's for sure.
Yeah, they definitely did. Like, there were some scenes where, I was like, laughing or like literally out loud. And then, I was talking to the TV like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. Like, so I felt like some of the stuff was good.
Yeah.
It just, to me, as a whole piece, wasn't as good as the other two I really like.
Yeah, I understand
that he's done. Yeah.
Yep.
I also mentioned to you that we should watch all of his stuff and then like rank them. I thought that would be a fun thing.
That would actually, I think, be really fun. Now that the Flaniverse has concluded on Netflix, now we can rank the Flaniverse, y'all. Let me know, or let us know in the comments or wherever you're listening if you think that'd be something you'd be interested in for us to rank all of Mike Flanagan's shows from Netflix. Now he'll be going over to Amazon, y'all, and we'll see what he's going to do over there. I'm sure it'll be big things. I'm sure Netflix will regret that loss. But yeah, let us know what y'all think about Fall of the House of Usher. And with that concludes what we watched this week. And now we'll get into the trailers for this week, y'all. Now, like I mentioned in the intro to this podcast, we're doing things slightly different with this section. Normally, we're talking about the movie trailers that dropped this week. But this past week, Dread XP, Horror Visuals, the Media Indie Exchange, the Horror Games Community, and The Mix hosted the very first indie horror games showcase on Twitch and YouTube. And now this indie horror game showcase included a lot of small scale developers and publishers like Super Rare Games, Raw Fury, Torture Star Video, Wired Productions, and a whole lot more. I mean, y'all, it was a stupid amount of indie horror games. It's almost impressive to think about, now that people have access to so much, more affordable access to so much technology. Really, literally anyone can make a game now, and so it's just crazy to see how many people were making horror games. So for today's podcast, we'll be talking about some of our favorite game trailers from that showcase, and the first thing we'll start with was Dread XP dropped a teaser for the upcoming adaptation of the iconic horror anthology series Creepshow. Now, there wasn't any gameplay that was shown and no real specifics were given about the game, but according to Dread XP, y'all, the adaptation of Creepshow will follow the films and TV show in retaining the anthology horror format, consisting of multiple self-contained horror stories that cross gameplay genres and tone. The video game will bring the series to an interactive format in 2024 across multiple platforms. So this was definitely just like a teaser announcement. Like it was nothing more than just saying, "Hey, it was coming." I did like
that first part though. It was hard.
Yeah, this first part was dope. Like that voice, it reminded me a lot of Tony Todd. And in fact,
It did. I thought the exact same thing. I was like, "Oh, he sounds almost like him."
Yeah, his tone, his cadence was very much like a Tony Todd. In fact, one of the comments on the video, there weren't many, but one of the comments actually asked, like, "Oh, is that Tony Todd?"
Oh wow!
But I don't think it wasn't. No. I don't believe it was, but that was
wasn't
cool.
Exactly, but it did sound really cool. It gave me like, it kind of reminded me of the guy from what is the name of that movie?
Which one?
It's a Disney movie.
It's a Disney movie.
They in like New Orleans. The villain in The Princess and the Frog.
Oh, you're talking about yeah, okay.
I forgot his name, but whoever he is, the villain from that movie, like it kind of gave me those kind of vibes. The way that the guy looked,
Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, that's a good depiction. That character did look really cool. And looking at the teaser trailer, I'm going to assume that the graphic style they'll be using is the cell shaded style. So things like Borderlands and the Telltale games, they'll have this type of style. I'm going to assume that when they're talking about interactive storytelling and stuff, it's going to be similar to Telltale games, if anyone's played those, where you're kind of more like picking options, and it's very, choice based, and like who will make it through and things like that. But I mean, like you said, man, I thought if that's the tone they're going for, it seems cool, but we don't really have a lot of information about it, so it's hard to say exactly what's coming. But it's coming next year, so I'm sure it won't be long before we get more details about this game. But Creepshow, I would have never guessed that a Creepshow game would be made. So that's cool. Hopefully they can do something. Cool. Yeah, hopefully they can do something special with this. We'll see. Now, speaking of interactive gaming, y'all, they showed a trailer for a new Silent Hill game. And I'm pretty sure everyone across the internet rejoiced when they saw Silent Hill, right? Everyone's probably freaking the fuck out. Oh shit, it's a new Silent Hill. Because they already got that.
Watched the I was watching this stream on YouTube and they went crazy.
Oh yeah, people went crazy. But then that hype slowly died as the trailer went on and people started to learn what this was. So this is not
what?
This is not like a main entry Silent Hill, y'all. It's called Silent Hill Ascension. And let me first give you kind of the premise of the game, the story, rather. The Hernandez family plummets into chaos as another death shakes their decimated Rust Belt town in Pennsylvania. In a dying fishing village in Norway, the uneasy peace of the Johansson family is upended when their matriarch, Ingrid, dies under suspicious circumstances. Survival depends on them overcoming their darkest impulses in the machinations of a cult as they discover the horror that connects them. Now, so Silent Hill Ascension, y'all, it's like a interactive show, essentially. So the way it works is it's a mobile game. So you'll download it on, Android or Apple phones. And it's basically going to be like a live series, if you will, a live TV show episode almost that will like premiere live. And as this episode is playing out, people watching can decide on decisions that will happen in the show. So it's very much like an interactive TV show, but it's built on like in a game engine, so it looks like a game. Yeah. And so the premiere episode will happen on October 31st at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And I believe you can go ahead and pre-install this app so you can get ready for when the stream, kicks in at that time on that date. And when it starts, you can make choices. And from what I've read additionally beyond the trailer is, a lot of the choices will appear towards the end of the episode, like the major ones. And whatever people pick will be kind of set in stone and become canon. And apparently you can't go back. And what choices the audience vote on is made. And you're watching it happen live as people vote. It didn't. I don't believe it mentioned how often new episodes of this will play. I'm going to assume it's week by week, but they didn't give a time frame yet. Um, but I mean, the trailer looks really cool. I did
It
like,
does. Looks really
yeah,
cool.
I thought the trailer looked good. I just don't. When it comes to Silent Hill, I just don't think I'm really a fan of them taking this approach. I think the idea is really cool,
Yeah.
especially if you've played games like the Dark Pictures Anthology and stuff like that, like where you know the game is a lot more interactive and choice based, and you can make
Mhm.
decisions that really affect the narrative. And I do like the idea of a community of people watching something and voting on
Yeah.
something. That's cool, but I don't know, man. Like, I would have rather them have put the resources towards something else. But I'll let you go ahead and say what you think about this, babe. When you saw this trailer, I know you're not too familiar with Silent Hill beyond, very surface level knowledge of the games. I think you've seen the movies. But what did you think when you saw this trailer and kind of heard like how this game will work on mobile devices?
Well, that was a very interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've never heard of anything like that before. But I thought it was very interesting. Trailer itself, I thought it looked really cool. Definitely, like you're saying, outside of like what I know about Silent Hill. Um, aside from the the ashy ash falling down
Mm-hmm.
that
Yep.
one scene.
Going into
That
the
was the
other
only
world.
thing that kind of like looked like Silent Hill, but it definitely seems like a whole nother approach to the story.
Right.
Um, but other than that, I mean, like you said, I'm surface level, so I don't get too deep with
Right.
it.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how definitely how this will play out. Maybe this ends up being really cool. We'll definitely be checking it out on October 31st. Maybe it'll end up being way cooler than we think right
You
now. Maybe
thought,
this will become
yeah,
a whole new thing, like a whole new way to consume content, because they have those games that came out on consoles where it was more like an actual movie, like live action people, and you can make choices and they had different paths. Um, always kind of sucks. You're limited to a finite number of choices that's based
yeah.
upon what they filmed and recorded or created. So it kind of takes
Mm.
the fun away a little bit, but we'll definitely see how it plays out. Again, you can go ahead and pre-install that on your mobile device of choice, and on October 31st at 9 p.m. Eastern is when you'll be able to actually see that live play out, and all of us together will be voting on what happens to these characters and the choices that they make. But moving on, y'all, to the next game that we want to talk about was a game called Pneumata. Um, Now, the premise of this game is the tenants are going missing. Screams echo and blood seeps through the walls of Clover Hill. As a detective, unravel the truth that lays within and recover your fragmented memories, or succumb to the horrors that lurk in the shadows within the sinister blend of survival and psychological horror. This will be coming soon to PlayStation and PC via Steam. And I thought this game looked pretty good. The graphics I thought looked really good. Um, it definitely had like a. I think someone said it in the comments. They had mentioned that it reminded them of this game that came out back on Xbox 360 days, called Condemned. It's a first-person horror game, where I think you're playing as, if I remember correctly, a detective in that game too. But you could use melee weapons and you could block and all that stuff, and it kind of reminded me of that. Maybe they were inspired a little bit by that. But I like the vibe of this game. I like the tone. I like the kind of that small town rainy feel. Look, I can't tell if the creatures were just zombies or ghouls, or I couldn't really tell, but it definitely had like an action vibe to the horror, because you can use weapons and guns and stuff, kind of like a Resident Evil. But I definitely like the tone and the atmosphere. I'm definitely intrigued. I'm interested. They didn't have a date, like I said, just said coming soon. So I'll definitely add this to my list to play. But what'd you think, babe, when you saw the trailer for Pneumata?
Yeah, I really liked this one. Like, I couldn't tell what the creatures were either, but they looked really cool.
Yep.
Even made some weird sound.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of reminded me of the creatures from Avatar. Those black ones. Um oh, that he killed first, like those black creatures. Do you remember those? They made those weird noises. But anyway, the creatures in
I
here
can't
kind of
remember.
reminded me of those creatures. Oh,
Okay.
you know, I've watched that movie 1,000
Yeah, a whole
times.
bunch
So
of times. Yeah, way more than I have. I'll tell you that.
love
Yep.
Avatar. But yeah, so I really like the creatures in this, and that alone is what made me really like this.
Yeah.
And obviously, I do like the premise, like this detective trying to uncover stuff, but that's kind of like similar to other, you know, games like this. But the way it looks really cool.
Yeah, I agree. It does actually look pretty good. Definitely for one of these indie games, looks like it has a little bit more of a bigger budget than some of these other games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm all about mystery and unraveling truths and all that good stuff. So I'm on board. Again, it just said coming soon, but it's going to be on PlayStation and PC. So add that to y'all's list and you'll look out for Pneumata. Now, the last game we'll be talking about from the set that just some hand picks that we liked is a game called Paleophage, and it's a third-person dinosaur survival horror game set in an urban resort.
Which
A fight,
is so cool.
yeah, it is actually is really cool. Fight or attempt to outrun over 10 varieties of prehistoric creatures, solve puzzles, and uncover the secrets of the Paleophage, a prehistoric biological nightmare capable of reconstituting ancient life, and it's coming to PC and PS5 next year in 2024. And this game I thought looked really cool. I will say that some of the gameplay looked a little janky.
Yeah,
you know, which
but I really like the concept.
The concept is cool.
Yeah.
This person's literally in like this hotel resort looking thing fighting dinosaurs, and the style of gameplay is kind of like Resident Evil, and that third person style like Resident Evil 4, but it's kind of over the shoulder and you're walking around. It's got a dark tone, lights are out sometimes, you gotta use your flashlight, you got weapons, shotguns, stuff like that, and you're fighting dinosaurs. They even got like a dodge mechanic. I saw him dodge roll and stuff like that in there. It looked, like I said, it looked a little stiff, but the concept is what makes it look really, really cool. So I think that's what, that's why we added to the list. And it kind of makes us decide to at least want to try it out and see, if it's any good. But I thought it looked really cool. What do you think, Beth?
Yeah, I thought it looked cool too. Like, I don't know. It was just like the idea of just, playing a game, shooting dinosaurs. I think that's it. Be super fun. Just mindless fun. So that's what made it stand out to me because I like dinosaurs. So
right, yeah, I knew once I saw you put that one on there on our list, I was like, oh yeah, she put this up there because Jurassic Park. Yep. Shoot,
exactly. Shoot, there you go. There you go. That's it right there.
Yep. But yeah, this game looks cool, y'all. And again, it's coming next year on PS5 and PC. And they back in the day, they used to make a lot of like dinosaur fighting games. For video game fans out there, I'm sure you probably don't know, babe, but there used to be a game called Turok where you literally fought. That was the thing. You fought dinosaurs and shooting them and stuff like that. But there's also this horror game that played like the old Resident Evil games called Dino Crisis. For anyone that knows what Dino Crisis is, I had it on the Sega Dreamcast back in the day.
Sound like an old person.
But look, if you know what it is. And my question is, y'all, when we gonna get a remake? Where's the Dino Crisis remake at? I think that would do numbers. I don't know. Maybe all these dinosaur games that are coming out will get Capcom to revive this game and remake this. This is gonna be a hit. If they remake this in the same way they remake Resident Evil, this shit can do numbers. I would be really hyped. But for all my fans that know about Dino Crisis, y'all know. But that wraps our trailers portion of the podcast, y'all. Now we'll move on to all the great horror news that dropped this week. And we're starting off with that we got an official poster for It's a Wonderful Knife. Now, we talked about this on some of our previous podcasts. And It's a Wonderful Knife puts a slasher movie twist on the holiday classic, It's a Wonderful Life. And the official poster actually takes a jab at the 1946 movie. Now, some additional info about the film. The writer for the film is Michael Kennedy, and it's being directed by Tyler McIntyre, and it's slashing into theaters on November 10th, 2023. And let me read y'all the synopsis for It's a Wonderful Knife. A year after saving her town from a psychotic killer on Christmas Eve, Winnie Carruthers' life is less than wonderful. But when she wishes she'd never been born, she finds herself in a nightmare parallel universe and discovers that without her, things could be much, much worse. Now the killer is back, and she must team up with the town misfit to identify the killer and get back to her own reality. And we're reading this. We're reading this post from Bloody Disgusting, where they had the poster up there, and I actually had to look up the "It's a Wonderful Life" poster because I did not remember what the original poster looked like. What's the similarities, man?
I think it's just because of the holiday part, like the town with
Yeah,
the Christmas lights and stuff like that. I think that's just mostly what it's talking about.
and
What's
well,
in reference to?
one thing I did notice is I think the title font is similar, like
Yeah,
how
the
they got
wonderful part
wonderful
is
cursive. Yeah, so that's kind of similar. Um, but yeah, what else did you think about this poster, bro, when you saw it?
I thought it actually looked pretty cool.
It does. It does look cool.
I like the lights. Even I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like old school Christmas. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that kind of fits with like the, old school one It's a Wonderful Life movie, because that's an old classic movie. So I think it brings a little bit of the classic feel to the poster.
Yeah.
And then also obviously this killer or whatever with the knife thing. It's kind of just like I'm bursting your holiday bubble type
Yep.
thing. I don't know. So I really like I like the poster.
Yeah, I agree. Like the poster actually looks really good. I love the Christmas vibes. I
Mm.
like the idea of this like snow globe and him like stabbing it,
Mm-hmm.
kind of destroying the picturesque like holiday
Right.
nature of the small
Yeah.
town, the snowy town, Christmas, and he's kind of destroying it. I see they like on that sign that had the town name, they put I can't tell what the original name of the town was, but they scratched it out and put Demon Falls.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
Yeah, I
that was
can't tell what
cool,
it says.
a cool touch too. But I'm excited for this one. I know you and I both really like the trailer
Yeah. Yeah.
when that dropped. So and this is another one that features Justin Long in it as well.
He is everywhere.
He
I'm hyped.
everywhere.
I'm
Yeah,
so hyped for him, man. I swear.
yes,
I'm like, oh, you get it, boy. You get it.
yep,
I'm just glad to see him back, and he is killing it. He's like
yeah. He really
everywhere.
is. He is killing it. But this looks great. I'm cool. I like the poster. I'm excited. Um, I'm thinking too, but like this would be a cool poster to have like hanging on the wall.
I know it,
Like
right?
especially
It
when like
looks
holiday time comes
cool.
around, like it does look
Yeah.
really cool. Yep.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, but y'all go check out that poster over on Bloody Disgusting. It's a good looking poster, and let us know what y'all think about it. Now moving on to our next story. Have you ever wondered what happens when a group of teens stumble on a cursed Aztec death whistle? Well, the Nun and Gangs of London director Corin Hardy is set to direct a high school horror movie called Whistle to answer that very question.
Mm.
Now, so Whistle's going to star Daphne Keene. You may know them from Logan and the Acolyte. Sophie Nellis from Yellow Jackets. Sky Yang from Rebel Moon. Percy Hines White from Wednesday. And Nick Frost from Shaun of the Dead. Love Nick Frost. And let me read you the synopsis for Whistle. A misfit group of unwitting high school students stumble upon a cursed object, an ancient Aztec death whistle. They discover that blowing the whistle and the terrifying sound it emits will summon their future deaths to hunt them down. As the body count rises, the friends investigate the origins of the deadly artifact in a desperate effort to stop the horrifying chain of events that they have set in motion. Now, this is being adapted from a short story by Owen Edgerton, and that's all we got right now. There's no no other news really about it. Just that this is something that's about to be in production, and I think this sounds like a lot of fun. I wanted to read because there was a part in here where Corin Hardy looks like he did an interview with Deadline, or maybe they put it for somewhere else. We talked about a little bit more, expanded upon his thoughts on how this film will be, and he had said, and I quote: "The premise of Whistle is simple, immediate, and has a fresh, haunting mythology, a cursed object that summons your future death to come and find you. The screenplay has echoes of some of my favorite classic horrors like The Ring, A Nightmare on Elm Street, or It Follows, with elements of seminal high school movies like The Breakfast Club and Donnie Darko. I'm thrilled to be working with this brilliant young cast to bring this inventive, terrifying, and cinematic new horror to life." And that was actually end quote. That was part of the quote,
Right.
by the way.
Mm.
But I think this movie sounds cool. Like I always like the idea of like, someone stumbling upon something and using it, and they have to, there's this whole mystery that unfolds in the movie while they
Mhm.
figure out like what this does and how they can beat it. I'm always a big fan of that.
Yeah.
But the fact that he talked about things such as A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Ring, It Follows, where it has this, we're picking off the group, this teen group one by one, um, and then also threw in like the stuff, like the high school stuff, like Breakfast Club or
Yeah,
Donnie
Breakfast
Darko. I was
Club.
like, whoa,
Yeah.
like this sounds like a good mixture
Mhm.
to bring back a lot of this like old school feel with some of this
Yeah.
new age horror. I'm on board completely. Babe, what did you think about when you heard this news
Yeah.
about this film Whistle?
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm most interested in because the object is an Aztec object. I'm
Hmm.
wondering, me, I like history. So I'm wondering how they'll pull in like the background and like the lore and stuff like that
Right.
in regards to the actual object. Um so that is what I'm most interested in. And like you said, I'm all for like, you know, bunch of high school kids finding something and then trying to like survive. Like, I think that's a good recipe for a fun movie. So,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. Um, Overall, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Another film. I think I rewatched it last year. I think you remember me watching it, but that I thought about when it comes to like high school, like horror type stuff. The
Mhm.
Faculty, the
Yes, that
Faculty.
was
Probably saying
that
it
was a
wrong.
good one.
That's a good movie right there,
That's a
and
good movie.
I like that. Also has that like old school, like early
Yeah.
2000s, late 90s vibes with the
Mhm.
school, and it has the typical student archetypes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's another
That
one
was
I really
good.
like that has like that kind of like thriller horror vibe with the high school stuff,
Yeah.
um, beyond things like, Scream and stuff like that. But
Right. Yeah.
um, yeah, I'm excited for this, y'all. This is a movie that has shot up on my, most interested horror list. We'll get more information about like when it goes to production and release dates and stuff like
Mm.
that later on. You can expect that we'll be talking about this in the future. And we'll probably do a trailer reaction to this too once the trailer. I'm sure we'll probably get a trailer sometime late next year, I bet.
Yeah.
But that is for the film called Whistle, y'all. Be on the lookout for that probably a year or two from now. I'm excited for that one. Now, um, now I mentioned that, this is coming from, director Corin Hardy, who directed The Nun, the first one. And speaking of The Nun, y'all, The Nun 2 will be streaming on Max. And it's just in time for Halloween, y'all. And it's coming on October 27th. Now, The Nun 2, that was directed by Michael Chavez. And he was the one that did Curse of La Llorona and all that, which is crazy. That movie was terrible. This movie was way better, but
And the devil made me do it.
that's right. Yep. Now, The Nun 2, y'all, premiered in theaters on September 8th, and it went on to make $257.6 million at the worldwide box office.
Mhm.
$257.6 million. That is really good, y'all.
Yeah.
And now you'll be able to watch it over on Max on October 27th. So it's perfect time for Halloween. If you haven't seen it yet, add it to your Halloween watch list. Put this on Halloween day. We got a review on this, actually. We got a non-spoiler review and a spoiler review. So go check that out on our channels, and you can see what we think about it. But I know
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this film. I know you thought it was okay, but
Mhm.
I think we can both agree it's worth watching one time. So
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
definitely, if you've got the subscription, if you got Max, go check it out on October 27th. But that, y'all, will actually do it for our news portion of the podcast. And now we'll be moving on to our main topic, which is all about our Halloween favorites, y'all, and which movies get us in the mood for Halloween. So stay tuned. All right, y'all. So again, the main topic's all about our Halloween favorites. And we put this on the list, Bay, to talk about, but I don't think we really structured this thing. So I don't know if you just want to dive in to the
Well, I
movies we
feel
got on
like
the
we could
list.
just have a conversation. It don't have to be structured.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sometimes we could just chill out, talk. You know
Just
what I'm
chill
saying?
and talk. I'm with it, man. I'm
Just
with it.
chill and talk.
Yep. Well, why don't you go ahead and give us, probably your first pick for your Halloween favorite.
Right. Well, yeah, like I said, well, like you said, we picked movies that kind of get us in the mood and, that feel like Halloween time. So
Mm-hmm.
the movies that I picked are based on that. And also a little nostalgia. So one of my
Absolutely.
favorites is Hocus Pocus. Like, that's like, it's October. Okay, let me go ahead and watch Hocus Pocus like 20 times. I don't know. Obviously, it gives you Halloween vibes, right? It happens
Right.
on Halloween. Um, it reminds me of like growing up, going trick or treating. And then now we got Hocus Pocus too, but I mean, it's good, but it's not the same. I don't get the same like feelings that I get from the first Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I like now it's something that I can watch with my kids, and it's just a comforting, cozy Halloween movie.
Yeah, it's Hocus Pocus. That's one that I really don't remember super good. I only remember bits and pieces only because you watch it all the time.
Oh, I can't believe you don't remember Hocus Pocus.
I really don't. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it a whole lot. Like, how you watched it. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
it's so good. It's a
Yeah.
good movie. I
Oh,
mean, okay, it's not so good, but it gives you good feelings. That's all
right.
I can say about it, right? Yeah. It's not a super great movie, but I don't care. I still watch it to get me in the mood for Halloween.
Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So, yeah, that's your first pick there is the Hocus Pocus. Now, was that a Disney movie off rip? The first
Yeah.
one was that still under Disney?
Yeah. It was a Disney movie.
It was a Disney? Oh, okay. I couldn't remember
Mm.
if it was Disney or not. Yeah, I think the first one I'll pick, and that's one that's on our movie marathon list for this year is Halloween, the 1978 one. I mean, it's in the name, automatically, right? This movie takes place on Halloween, so I think that alone, just you know, when it's that spooky time of the month, like Halloween, I think it's just a great film to almost like begin it and end it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I
I
feel
agree
like,
with that.
yeah, I feel like it captures, when it comes to like, the horror movies, like it captures everything. It's got like what we just talked about, the high school stuff. So it's got, the group of high school teens. And it's got like the babysitter stalking. It's got some great and classic kills. Um, and it's a slasher, you know what I'm saying? Michael Myers, the shape, stalking. And there's also just some like really brutal kills in here. Like,
Yeah.
I always like the one for some reason where he like, stabbed the dude and hung him up against the wall.
Okay, so I recently I watched this movie.
Mhm.
I watched the wrong Halloween on the list. So I've already watched this movie, even though we're supposed to watch it at the end of the month.
Oh,
And I
okay.
realized
Uh-huh.
I watched the wrong one. Anyways, when that happened, because I don't remember this movie. I don't think I've
Mhm.
ever watched the first Halloween movie. And if I did, I don't remember it very
Yeah.
well. But yeah, so when I watched it, I was like, oh, because he killed someone like this in Halloween Ends.
Mhm. Yep.
And I was like, oh, well, it's a parallel there. But
Yep.
anyways,
Uh-huh. Yep.
I
It's a
wasn't
classic kill.
I don't remember that. Also, this movie is actually really, really good.
Mhm.
If no
It
one's ever
is.
seen it, because I was shocked at how good it was.
Yeah. It holds up really
It
good.
holds up really good.
Yeah.
There's some really good shots in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, this legit. I think I've watched the other Halloween movies, but after watching this one, this was probably my favorite one.
Yep.
I really like this movie.
And also, speaking of kills and stuff too, like, there's, Michael Myers as, they got the mask, like the mask scene where you see through the
Yeah.
mask, like
Mhm.
that kind of first person view, like that's a super iconic scene. And of
I
course there's
loved it.
yeah, that was super unique, super different. And there's also the like the title card with, with the
Mhm.
pumpkin and stuff like that, like the close-ups of the
Yeah.
pumpkin and all that, like, stuff that really invokes that October,
Yeah.
uh,
Lots.
the
Mm.
October Halloween type of feel. And I feel like that whole first person thing though was like, uh,
Yeah.
I not, I'm not like a connoisseur of all films. Like I don't remember everything that's happened prior to that. But that's
Right.
the first thing I can remember in terms of like this first person view where they're putting on like a mask and all you can see is between the two eyes. I feel like there was wasn't that Netflix show where they talked about like the movies that made us or whatever.
Oh
And they did
yeah.
one on this, right? And I feel like they talked about that mask scene. And I
Oh,
forgot
okay.
like
I
how
don't
they achieved
remember.
it. But I feel like that was something they did talk about. That's a
Okay.
cool episode for that series on Netflix. If you haven't seen it yet, go check out the
Mm.
Halloween focus one. But Halloween, I just feel like it's such a classic horror film. It's iconic. That's why
So
they made so many and then did the requel trilogy. Because
yeah.
Michael Myers is like a horror icon, legit, one of the OGs. And the film for the 78 one holds up to this day so well.
So good.
So
There's
that's
this
why.
one scene where
Uh-huh.
he puts the sheet on and then puts the dude's glasses
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah.
I was like, that is some funny stuff right there.
Yeah. Hey, Michael Myers got a sense of humor.
Yeah, that was really good.
But yeah, I think that's a good movie to bookend the month. You started and ended with Halloween. That's a classic right there, y'all. What's the next one you got for us, man?
All right, so next up I got is Poltergeist. If you've been watching the movies with us, this was in our first week of movies. And I forgot how good this movie is. Even though it's not like a setting in Halloween time, it's still like it gives you that those spooky vibes. And also this movie was very emotional. There was some emotional scenes.
Yeah, you was crying, weren't you?
I was like on the verge of tears. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
But that tells you how good the acting was. Like the main part that got me was the mom. Like when she was talking about her baby, like, and I felt that in my spirit. Like I was like, ooh, girl. But yeah, obviously some of the stuff doesn't hold up in this one. Like some of the practical effects and stuff like that. But even some of the special effects weren't there.
There's some good ideas in there.
But there was some, really
like for
great
the special
ideas.
effects, there was some really cool stuff in there. Yeah.
Really good stuff. I was like, oh wow, that's so creative. Like even like the little kid being scared at night when the thunderstorm and then the tree. Like I don't know, it was just some really good stuff in this movie. And then the whole thing about building houses on the Indian burial grounds and stuff like that. Like
that's a classic one right there.
Classic thing,
you don't mess,
right?
You don't mess with them Indian burial grounds.
Don't mess with the Indian
You don't
burial
mess with
grounds.
those things, man.
But yeah, overall, this is like a really good movie. I haven't watched the second one, but a lot of people like that one better. But I need to check that one out. But this one right here, I like this one a lot.
Yeah, and I don't know if people know this, but the director of Poltergeist is Toby Hooper, who also directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And
okay,
that's also
why it's good,
right? Because Texas Chainsaw Massacre is also on our watch list, and that movie is really good. I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre is actually a really great film. And what's crazy is it's not even super gory. I know we're not talking about this film, but I just wanted to bring that up because I think not up until recently, for some reason I'd always thought Steven Spielberg directed Poltergeist. I'm not 100% sure why I thought that, but I did. And he is credited as a writer for the film, but for some reason I always thought that he directed it. I don't know why, but but yeah, it was Toby Hooper who also did Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So
gotcha.
a little fun fact, for people.
Yeah. Yep. All right, baby. So it's your turn.
Yeah. So the next one for me, and I'm kind of sticking with the classics, just because I feel like a lot of times the classics give you that nostalgia, and then also
they do.
They inspire that spirit, get you in that mode. And so my next one is going to be A Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one. And what year did that come out? 1984. And this movie is just another like classic. I feel like it's one of those films that kind of like inspired. I'm not gonna say it created, but it's one of the inspirations for my love of horror films because it has so many like just dope things in there. One, it's got the iconic character Freddy Krueger, and some of his like iconic line deliveries.
Yeah.
And he's even got some of the goofiness still in the first one. Obviously, it got crazier as the series went on. But
Yeah.
there's a couple of goofy things in the first film, but the first film had so many creative like sequences that were just like nothing I'd ever seen in my entire life. I couldn't even imagine watching it back in the day. But some of the stuff they were able to achieve visually, like with the scene where I can't remember her name 100% right now, but when the girl gets dragged from the bed up against the onto the wall, onto the ceiling, and is getting just fucked up by Freddy, like those special effects on that scene, like to this day hold up. Like that shit looks amazing. Like when she starts floating and then gets like thrown against the wall, and like she spins and hits the boyfriend, like that like it holds up crazy. Like it's crazy how good it holds up. And then there's other and plus just the concept of it, like this dude that haunts your dreams and affects you in real life is really cool. And I like some of the different concepts when we can't go to sleep, like trying to stay awake. And so like not only are you battling Freddy, but you're trying to battle against something that as a human you have to have. So you're slowly getting mentally and physically just like destroyed. Because they make a play on that where they can't tell what's real and what isn't. She thinks she's awake, but she's actually asleep. Yada yada yada. Well, there's some other just incredible moments, like and this iconic camera shots. Like there's a shot with the girl in the tub where Freddy's hand comes up. You know what I'm saying? Kind of sort of implying different things, but just iconic like shot. Then of course one of the ultimate kills is when old boy gets like sucked into the bed, and this basically
that was a good one.
This abyss hole gets put in the middle of his bed, and all this shit starts going to a TV. Everything all of a sudden blood just shoots up, from the bed to the ceiling. And this is the way they did it. Like it looks incredible. Like it's all practical and it looks amazing. And I was watching a video and how they're able to achieve a lot of those like ceiling things was actually like a motorized system that actually like turned the room.
Oh wow!
And what they did was they like kind of fixed all the furniture, like they nailed it down, taped it down, whatever. They fixed all the furniture to its place so they can actually turn and make it look really good.
Wow.
Yeah, but it worked because it looks incredible. There's just a lot of just weird stuff, like the creativeness of the concepts for the kills and just other weird comments that Freddy makes. There's that one part that's kind of gross when she was on the phone, and this I think it's right before the boyfriend dies, and she thinks it's him calling her back on the phone, and she answers it, and Freddy's like, "Oh, I'm your boyfriend now," and then like the phone's mouth is Freddy's mouth, and the tongue is trying to kiss her. It did weird shit like that, like just so weird, so wacky, like so it was like scary but fun at the same time. And then of course, like it inspired the rest of the series, and Freddy went on to become an icon. Like Robert Englund is iconic, and Freddy Freddy started doing funny shit as stuff went on.
Crazy.
But yeah, this to me is another one. Just is one of my Halloween favorites. It really captures what I like about horror movies, and it's a fun movie while also still being scary. Like it's awesome, man. I really like it for getting in the spirit of Halloween.
Yeah.
Yep. So what's your next movie, man?
Okay, so my next movie would probably be The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yeah.
And I have a special place in my heart for Jack and Sally.
Yep.
Matter of fact, our baby girl is Sally this for Halloween.
She was. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so.
And you got the Sally shirt on right now.
I sure do. Sure do. Yeah, I forgot I had it.
Yep.
But yeah. Yeah, I just love it. It just gets me in the feels. It's another classic, but like nostalgic feeling, kind of like how I explain how I feel about when I watch Hocus Pocus. I love the music, like, and now my kids love it. So like we all be in there singing the Halloween songs.
Yep. The music is so dope, and
so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
And the story itself is just really, really good. Like, I don't know, I just love it.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones where like, it's Tim Burton, and Tim Burton always is making like, you know, creative and interesting things, and you know that movie, you know, it's one of those things where like the nostalgia adds to it, like it plays to our generation, and you know the stop motion and just the art of it.
But this is something we watch all the time. Like this movie is not reserved just for Halloween.
This shit's on in the house all the time, y'all. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Like,
this shit's always playing.
Whenever.
This shit is always playing.
Yeah. That's a good one though.
Yep.
All right, what's next for you, boo?
All right, so the next one for me. So the next movie for me would have to be M. Night Shyamalan's Signs. And that might be kind of a weird pick for people because it's not exactly, you know, Halloween or like ultra spooky, but for me, it's special for me because it scared the shit out of me from back in the day. Because it dealt with aliens, you know. I low key kind of believe in aliens to a certain extent.
Aliens is scary, some scary stuff.
Man. Yeah, aliens is just scary. It's, you know, these beings that have higher tech can abduct you and all that shit. So,
well, you told me once that you was going to tell me about something where you seen something. Remember, you never told me.
Oh, on the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a UFO. I was on the highway and I saw a UFO, and it's crazy because what was so weird about it, right, is when I was on the highway and looked up and I was like, dang, like it was nighttime, you know, so I'm like that looked like a UFO, or it looks weird. It was a triangular shape. I was like, this just looks weird.
Yeah.
And then not even like a couple days later, I was on YouTube, and this is I don't even remember what it was. It was recent. It was within the last year for sure, and on the news report, there's like because you know it's all these reports of UFOs, right? And so on the news report, they had a montage of different clips that people had of UFOs, and one of the clips was the UFO that looked just like the one I saw. Like I was like, whoa! So I think I saw one.
Yeah. Oh wow!
So I don't know,
crazy.
But aliens is just creepy and scary.
It is.
So Signs for me, like it's got a special place in my heart because it's super creepy. I love the build up that M. Night Shyamalan did in that film, like how it escalated from, you know, like little things happening, and then like just the build up of it. Especially like when they started watching stuff on TV, and then stuff started to seem real, and like in the way the family reacted to stuff on TV. You know, obviously one of the most classic scenes is when, you know, Joaquin Phoenix character's in that closet watching that TV, and you know the news was like, oh, we got this video of a sighting of an alien, and I think it's like Mexico or something like that. And you know, like Joaquin Phoenix acting in that moment was incredible.
So good.
You know? And he's like really getting close to the TV, and like, you know, you're basically experiencing it through him. So he's getting closer to the TV. You're getting closer, like, oh shoot, we about to see this thing. And then, you know, the part where like all the kids in the way, and he's like, move, children, vamonos. You know what I'm saying? And then finally, like, you see the alien walk by. The audience is scared as fuck. And Joaquin Phoenix's character was like, you know what I'm saying? And
taken aback.
Yep. Yeah. And it just added to the fear because you're just like, it's the unknown. You just don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then just
speaking of scary alien movies, do you remember The Fourth Kind?
Oh, that movie was scary. That movie was super scary
ass movie. Like, I couldn't sleep for a long time after watching that movie.
I remember that. Yeah, that movie was terrifying.
That movie messed me up.
It was super creepy. It felt super real. I can't deal with
aliens.
Yeah. But yeah, I love Signs, man. I love all the spookiness, and you know, it's kind of got that religious aspect to it. How, you know, Mel Gibson's character lost faith and he regained it. So it's a cool story about grief and getting over loss. He lost his wife and he lost his faith.
Yeah.
It was just cool. And then also has like a lot of, you know, it also has a lot of like, because the movie's called Signs, right? And so like signs that mean or show you different things. Yeah. And so like, you know, one of the signs in the film was like, you know, the little girl leaving water everywhere.
In the water.
And you know, he makes that realization like, oh, that's why she's like that. Like it's for this moment right here, so we can fuck this thing up. So, you know, different little things that, you know, suddenly have these grander meanings. There's so many different like messages and commentary in that movie beyond just the spooky stuff that it's just such an incredible movie. And it's one of those movies that when I watched it when I was younger, as a kid, it would just scare the hell out of me because of the aliens. But then as I got older, I was like, wow, there's so many much more profound things in this movie. But I love watching it during October because I like some of the spooky stuff, and also it's a perfect time to watch it now because I know y'all been seeing it, but there's been a lot of sightings of UFOs and shit. That UFOs is a hot topic on the news right now, y'all. Like,
it is a hot
it's get
topic.
crazy out here. Like, reports coming out, documents getting released, actual like public figures going on the record talking about UFOs, and it's just crazy out here, y'all. I don't know what to believe, but I love signs though.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen No One Will Save You on Hulu, I think that's a good one.
Yes,
another good alien.
That's a new one
movie to watch.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a new one. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was actually really good. Check that one out.
I was gonna say something else. Now I forgot what I was gonna say.
Was it about aliens?
Yeah. Oh well, I don't remember.
Like an alien movie?
It's okay. I don't recall.
Now there's that VHS. There's that VHS short. I think it's in VHS 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is it VHS 2?
I don't remember.
So there's an alien short. I think it's VHS 2. Let me double check that. Let me see. Yeah. Wait, hold up. Yes. It's called Slumber Party Alien Abduction. It's in VHS 2.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, man. Well, I know what we doing, baby. We're going to be rewatching that because that was crazy. It was super crazy. It was an incredible short in VHS 2. I actually really like VHS 2. I feel like all the shorts in there were amazing. But the Slumber Party Alien Abduction, I believe, was the final one for that movie. And it was insane. It was such a cool... that whole thing was done so well and so creatively. Definitely check if you like alien stuff and you've never seen VHS 2. I recommend just watching the whole film because it's really good and a lot of the shorts in there are insane and incredible. But that final one with the alien abduction is insane. So check that out too. We're gonna rewatch that, baby, because I can't believe you don't remember. I'm gonna remind you.
I don't.
Yep.
I don't think I want to be reminded.
Oh, now you gotta be. I need you to remember it because that junk was crazy. But yeah, did you want to add anything else to this this main topic section, babe?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, yeah. That is kind of, it's a small list. We've got plenty more. We got a bunch of movies we could talk about, y'all, but we wanted to give you a short list of films that we like to get us in the Halloween spirit, some of our Halloween favorites. Doesn't necessarily have to be about Halloween, but anything that gives you the spooky sensation, the goosebumps, whatever, that really give you, that spirit of Halloween. The stuff you like to watch when October hits. It's like, man, now I get to watch these movies back to back and can't nobody tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's us list of our films. Let us know in the comments what are some of your favorite spooky season films, favorite Halloween films. Drop all that in the comments, y'all. And that'll do it, y'all, for this episode of the In Love with Horror podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, y'all. If you made it this far, thank you. Thank you to all of our listeners and viewers. Make sure you're following us on all of our social media channels. Follow us on TikTok, IG, X, Twitter, whatever, YouTube. Go visit our website, inlovewithhorror.com. We got merch and things like that on there. And yeah, what's our TikTok number ever? Do you remember?
840 something.
Yeah, hey, look, y'all, we're trying to get to 1,000 followers on TikTok, so help us out with that.
Help us get to
and we
1,000.
are. I think the last I checked, we were 10 away from 200 subscribers on YouTube. So help us get there as well with that too, y'all. But yeah, hey, look, make sure you leave us comments on all the stuff we talked about in this podcast. Any of the games from the Indie Games Horror Showcase, any of the news topics, we'd love to discuss all that with y'all in the comments. And then for Spotify and Apple, leave us a rating. So that just helps us get more exposure on those platforms. So leave us a rating so we can get more visibility to other audience members, and share the podcast, share our YouTube, share our TikToks, all that stuff, y'all. We greatly appreciate it. And that's a great way to just show us some support. But hopefully y'all had a great time. I had a great time with you, baby. As always, it's been another great episode with you. And you got yourself muted over there.
Yes, because your kids is loud.
Oh, okay. See, it's that bad time, y'all. But again, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning into the entire podcast. This has been the In Love with Horror podcast, and we will see y'all on the next one. Peace.